Hi there. Well, now we're talking about how martial arts should evolve. Well, my background was karate, Shotokan specifically, and over the years, I've looked at a lot of people. I've known people 20, 30 years, and in some cases, I won't mention anybody's names anywhere because it's not fair, but in some cases, you go back to a club that you visited 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you see that they're doing the same thing up and down, exactly the same. Nothing's changed. It's the same in every art, same in boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, all of it. All the sports fighters, the same. They're teaching the same old thing because that's the way it's always been taught. It's the way it's always been done, therefore it must be the right way. Just because something's always been done that way does not necessarily mean that is the right way, or the best way, or the most efficient way. You should always be looking to find a more efficient and more effective way of achieving the same thing. Whether that be a simple jab, which isn't so simple, but a jab, whether that be a complex flow from lock to lock to lock, whether it be a takedown, a throw, ground, whatever it may be. You should always be looking to find a more efficient and effective way of doing it. Otherwise, your art doesn't evolve, it doesn't grow. At best, it will stagnate, and usually the standard will drop. Usually the standard will drop because most people get pretty bored doing the same old thing week in, week out, year in, year out. They may well have been practicing that martial art for 24 years, but basically they've been repeating year 4 for the last 20. Once they get to a certain level, it just seems to be that nothing else happens. You try to get slightly better at kata or whatever, but you don't really improve. If anything, your standard drops off. And that's totally understandable because something that repetitive does get boring. And you can't put your heart and soul into it properly. You may think you are, but deep down you know that you're probably not, or in fact you're definitely not. It has to evolve, it has to grow, it has to change. For something to be done a certain way, to make it more efficient, it must change. It's that simple. Now, I'm not talking about complete overhaul, completely change everything that you're doing. The change might be very subtle, but make a huge difference. The change might be less subtle to make a huge difference. But there's always a change that can be made for the better. And that's one of the things that we actually specialize in, is making techniques more effective and more efficient. And that has to be the goal of everybody in martial arts. Everybody must want to make their technique more effective and more efficient. It's a no-brainer. And that is what we specialize in doing. It comes under the global heading of pressure point fighting, which doesn't really tell the full story. Pressure point fighting is a part of it. We need to get your techniques effective and efficient so that we can add the points to it. I've said it so many times that pressure points basically are the last 5%. They're an extremely important and extremely effective last 5%. But without the base that we give you, without all of that improvement within technique, there have much less value. Which is why you see a lot of people talking about these mixed results that they get from pressure points, where it works well on this person, I can't get it to work on him, and a little bit on that guy, not too good on that one. All of that sort of stuff shouldn't be happening. If your technique is effective and efficient, and you add the points to it, it will work effectively and efficiently, nastily and painfully on everybody. That is the goal. Now, of course, we all make mistakes, so it's nothing's 100%. You're never going to be 100% perfect in absolutely everything that you do, otherwise we'd all be world champions. But what we can do is get that efficiency up there. Anyway, thanks for that. Let me know what you think.